dive into this
Yeah.
new Quest End whiskey that you are now joining forces with Critical Role.
Yeah.
So, was this on the original plan, or is this just like a nice surprise that happened because it's doing so well?
It's a nice surprise that happened because it's doing so well. One of the their licensing manager, a guy named Jason Kletsky, who I'm really good friends with, we were having lunch one day, and I was sort of articulating how great the Paladin launch was. You know, we sold out in 2 weeks. We then had 25,000 people on a waiting list. We released Paladin Plus One, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" He's like, and at the end of that lunch, he was like, "Hey, would you guys ever be interested in working with Critical Role?" And I like my jaw hit the floor. I was like, of course, they are the best of the best, and they're sort of the gold standard in this in any industry, I think, in terms of how they approach their community and who they are as people and how they walk through the world. And so we reached out we reached out to them and provided them with like 5 different sort of thought processes. And we all agreed that Sandcake sounded like the most fun. And here we are.
I had to ask about this because I had to look it up because I think it's just part of like their universe, right? And when I read what it's made of in the Critical Role universe, I was like, I don't know how you turn that into
Why we would do that? Yeah, yeah,
why? It's like the bile of this creature, and I'm like, "That's stomach acid. Why are we turning stomach acid into"
it's fermented stomach acid. It's not just straight stomach acid. That would be crazy.
I'm like, "What are we doing?" So, like, when you were trying to figure out how to make it palatable for
Yeah.
people who, like me, are reading it, because now the flavor profile of this is amazing. I'm like, "That's not what I would imagine." So how did you
No.
hear?
Well, look, there's a lot we can do to sort of build this in-world vibe, like a feel to it. But when it comes to taste, that's paramount. Like one of the things that we always try to do is we try to build a beautiful bottle, an incredible unboxing experience for our customers, and then on top of it, deliver a premium whiskey experience. So all the juice is 4 years plus aged. We cask, we barrel age it in sherry casks and vermouth casks to give it this sort of earthy tone and this red fruit sort of flavors. And yeah, and that's Ali Ochoa. I mean, our master blender, who's like a magician, like she's an alchemist. You can give her sort of a description, and that's what we do. We basically read what you saw, right? The sort of description that happens on Critical Role. We read that to her, and she starts scribbling notes, and out comes like sort of how she will interpret this other world into the juice. And yeah, and she's pretty remarkable, and she's like our secret weapon. Like everything we do in the world's fantastic, but if we don't deliver an incredible premium spirit experience, then the brand is dead. And she handles that with this joie de vivre that's amazing.
I love it. And I love like when I read that, I'm like, "Oh, this is moonshine." Like when I like
Oh yeah.
the original description. So the fact that she on what is it? She's got like notes of baked apple and brown spice and shortbread cookie. Like it all of a sudden becomes like a fantasy drink. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
okay,
And
great.
by the
That's
way,
not gonna put
one of
hair on
the
my chest. It's gonna give me wings. Like
no, no hair on the chest. That is not a side effect. No, one of the great stories about all this is last Friday, we went into the Critical Role team and we sat with the entire team. Allie flew out from Kentucky. She brought her 3 favorite sort of blends, and we all collectively, the Fine Familiar team and the Critical Role team, sat down and tasted it, and collectively we decided on which one of her blends to go with. So
that's amazing.
if you don't like the liquid, blame Matt Mercer. No, but it was a really cool experience because we got to gather and sort of sit around and talk about the brand and talk about why we're doing it and talk about like our goals as a company. And it was just it was like one of the highlights of our entire company is having that sort of tasting and building that fellowship with Critical Role.
Absolutely, and I love the bottle is gorgeous, and I love the
Thank
thing like, it's coming in a crate, and it looks like it's just gonna be, like, on your hip in a satchel that you're just gonna, like, take swigs of every once in a while when you need a little pep in your step.
you.
Um,
No doubt.
and then the map that comes with it, is that gonna be a part of your world, the Quest and Whiskey fantasy world, or is that just specifically a Critical Role Matt.
Yeah, no, it's Exandria. So it's based on the Critical Role. So it's based on the Critical Role lore and IP. So everything we did was to add value to what Matt and the team created in season one and season two of Vox Machina. Um, we went to like there's a just so everyone knows there's a found journal. It's a 44-page sort of found journal, and some that is built. We open up in the Shade, which is a very famous bar in Alexandria, and so we build on the world that Matt created, and it's sort of a love letter to critters. I mean, that's our whole goal, is to build something that people who adore this world, adore that show, can celebrate when they open our package.
I love it. That's so amazing. I think it's so cool. This crossover is perfect with everything that you've been doing.
Thank you so much. We're stoked. I mean, I think that one of the best things is that they're happy, right?
Mhm.
Like in sitting there and sort of sharing the bottle, like you said, the bottle's this bottle we found in Italy. It's got all this like it's got like all these deformities in the glass, but yet it's still beautiful. It feels in world. So yeah, and the liquid's beautiful, and the whole thing has just been really, knock on wood, that it delivers and people are happy, but we're really thrilled with what's coming out.
I love it. And you said like the whole team over there, Critical Role, had a hand in all this. Was there ever a moment where you guys were like, oh, we're never going to get on the same page? Or were you just very symbiotic?
No, it's so funny you say that, because our biggest concern was that, because we're autonomous, right? We create our own IP, we read our own stories, we do our own maps. And so our biggest fear, and I said this to him, was that we would get into Matt's sort of lore and and uh and his storytelling, and build and try to yes and his world, and that he would covet it or hold it dear and tight. um, and he's been the exact opposite. I mean, they've been so welcoming, and so the spirit of yes and that it's been remarkable. And to the point where they're like, every step of the way, they're like, yes, keep going. You're crushing it. Great, perfect, no notes. I mean, all the way through, it's been this super positive experience, which, for us has been, one of the best things about it, is that they've been incredible partners.
I love it. And then it came down to the tasting. Was this like unanimous or was there like very intricate debates?
No, there was a lot of debate, but I think the more we debated, the more we drank, the more we drank, the more we wanted to debate, as often happens with whiskey. But no, it was 3 different blends. One was simple, one had a lot of heat, and one was sort of a great combination of both. And so at the end of the day, we decided to go with bottle 5. That was the number. Bottle 5 is our number.
Love it. That's so
Yeah,
awesome.
it was really great. It was great because, we sat there for like an hour. Like, I sort of thought like, okay, we're gonna come in and taste, and it wasn't that. It was like literally taking it very seriously, like clearing palates, retasting one. Did we miss something on 6? So it was good.
Now everyone can start pre-ordering when?
You can go to SANDKHEG'S.com, and you can sign up for the pre-order. We're gonna sequentially ship. We have a certain amount of units already in stock that we're building right now. Glass has already come from Italy. The maker's marks here. The journal's being printed, and there's a set number of those. And when those, we'll ship those out in the first wave. So the earlier you sign up, the earlier you get your package. But
Awesome.
it goes on sale the 29th for the pre-sale for 2 days, and then the second it goes on sale live. And the thing that's interesting is we only do a 3-week sale, so it's a very specific window. And once that window sale is closed, it's gone forever. So it's really sort of like a sneaker drop. Like, once and you're interested, you should probably go and sign up. And if you're not, all good.
Awesome. So don't sit around and wait. You have to go sign up for this. It's gonna be
You,
amazing. I'm so excited for you guys.
it's gonna be good. I listen. We priced it, so hopefully bring in as many people as we can. We took a lot of energy in building this found journal and the lore and all of it. So hopefully people fall in love with it.
I think they will.
Good.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah,
Matthew,
thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much. This is always
Yeah,
fun. It's always great to talk to you about whiskeys and the new exciting
thank
things
you.
happening at Quest End.
Well, thank you for having us. We appreciate the coverage. It helps immensely.
Of course, anytime.